What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jake and Justin in the Morning. Here we go. Justin, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm tired. I mean, I'm really gonna have to need some readjustments in my back from carrying you in class today. That was just that's just nut. That's
Yeah,
just nuts
so
about.
Justin and I have class together, and Liam, who's in the back helping us out today, he's also in that class, and he used to see a live, it was a classroom learning assessment. He's essentially an assistant teacher. So, and today we were setting up like our final show that we do. Because we do like shows. It's called TV studio production. And Justin was given all the ideas because everyone else was either just not capable of doing it because everyone in that class doesn't know what they're doing, or just too tired to do it. Which is the boat.
Just an 8 a.m. I literally said at 7 in the morning. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna do it. I have to let the students cook. And then the students didn't cook, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to do something. I even came up with the title. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, all of a sudden, once people just voted for the title, I'm like, okay, how much more? How much more I need to do today?
All right, so let's jump right in. Let's talk about opening day. So let's start with your team. Orioles pick up a win, 10-9 over the Red Sox. Went up big. Red Sox came all the way back. Orioles hung on. What are your takeaways from that game?
I found the Boston Red Sox father, and his name is Ramon Urias. That was a good game. They almost lost. It was 10-9. They ended up falling apart at the end, but I was pretty. Look, I'm happy with it. They're not. They're not a good team, the Red Sox, but I'm just happy that the Orioles won. All I'm saying is, if they still had Cal Ripken, they would still win.
Oh, Cal Ripken's like 60 years old.
Is he still alive?
I think.
If he's still alive, then he could play. Okay, what about Tom Brady? Tom Brady literally played till he was like 50.
45, yeah.
Yeah, 45, almost 50 years old. Come on. I think Cal Ripken has a little bit left in him, the first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm sure. I think him, Slam Tander, and Ryan Mountcastle could really go off in a game if they just had him. But yeah, the Orioles are looking decent.
Yeah, they're a very intriguing team. They got a lot of young guys. You have Gunnar Henderson, who will see a full year of him. He's a Rookie of the Year favorite. You got Mullins in center, Santander, Mountcastle. You have some veterans mixed in there, like Adam Frazier is mixed in there. Adley Rutschman, I think, could be a bridge-up candidate.
Yep.
Pitching-wise, their bullpen's really good. The rotation is probably their biggest weakness, but they do have a couple of guys there. Cal Gibson's a bounce-back candidate. I like Dean Kremer. I think we see Grayson Rodriguez at some point, probably sooner rather than later. They should get John Means, who is their ace, back at some point in the middle of the season. Yep. So they're an intriguing team, both of them. We'll see what happens. Playing.
Yeah, I also don't think the Red Sox played that bad either. I thought Yoshida had a pretty good look at the
very good.
For his first MLB game. I'd be pretty happy with them if I'm a Red Sox fan. Do I think they go far right now this year? Maybe not. But it's only one game out of the other 161 that they have to play. Or if Manfred calls another lockout, which will cut it down to like 100.
Yeah, but Boston offensively they look very good. Even though you lose Bogarts and Story's out probably till at least July. Obviously with Rafael Devers there, you have Verdugo, you have Kike Hernandez is pretty good. So they have a solid lineup. The Red Sox pitching is definitely their issue.
Oh yeah.
Look at the rotation. Sale, we don't know if he'll stay healthy. I like Whitlock and they got good depth. But Kluber's not what he once was. Hoke's a mystery. Brian Bell's a mystery. So I'm not sure. The bullpen. I thought the bullpen was better. Did not look so good yesterday, but on paper it should be better. We'll see what happens, but not a great start, obviously.
Yeah. But there was, I think it was in general, like, I'm talking about MLB. In general, I think it was a great opening day. I thought it was fun. Yankees-Giants was fine.
Aaron Judge
obviously, Arson Judge was not on the Giants. But at least he beat that team, which I find is funny.
That was pretty funny.
That I found was so funny that John Heyman comes out. He's like, Aaron Judge, who spelled his name wrong. He spelled it Arson Judge for some reason. Is going to the Giants. Was completely false. Goes to the Yankees. Now they're playing the Giants first game. You got to be kidding me. That's you can't make that stuff up. Mets Marlins was fun.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, Liam?
I know. I can't wait to see that game tomorrow. The Yankees Giants.
Oh, that's right. You're going to the Yank game tomorrow.
Yeah, little Liam's going to the
that's
game.
right. Poor man. You have to watch Giancarlo Stanton try to hit a baseball in real time. That's gotta suck. That's gotta sting.
It will.
It will. I mean, at least Aaron Judge in person, because I've seen him live before. He is fun to watch.
Judge, yeah.
Yeah, well, I went to a Yankee game with my dad. And we got lucky. We got lucky enough to sit right behind home plate.
Oh wow!
And we watched Aaron Judge hit a dinger like you can't imagine.
I know.
Crazy enough, at the time, Aroldis Chapman was good.
Yeah, he was.
That was at the time they played their. I can remember that like it was yesterday. It was a beautiful day out, as it always is. I mean, trust me. If it's what's up.
Any sunny day at Yankee Stadium is always a beautiful day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say, no matter where you are, if it's a nice day in your area, go see a baseball game.
Absolutely.
They're relatively cheap. Like that's the one great thing about baseball. Tickets
aren't that bad.
Like even a good seat is not that much money.
Yeah.
Compared to, if you're sitting like floor seats in basketball, it's like
God.
Like end zone seats are a fortune.
Courtside seats, like you said, are incredibly expensive.
Oh yeah, courtside seats at where?
I like NBA games.
Oh yeah, like probably MSG is the highest by far.
I cannot imagine. You have to be basically a millionaire to afford those.
Well, yeah, that's why I think Spike Lee sits there all the time.
Exactly. He also probably gets free tickets.
I think some of these people should get free tickets. Like you're saying, yes, Patrick Ewing is a bad coach for Georgetown, but as a player, he should get free tickets.
Yeah, for the next game.
Didn't Charles Oakley have free tickets? So he got like kicked out for like beating up people, like fighting somebody.
No, because the issue was the security guard didn't know who he was, and they're like, "Why don't you have a ticket?" He was like, I'm freaking Charles Oakley.
That's crazy.
And then Oakley got pissed off and started the fight, and then James Dolan banned them.
That's so bad.
Yeah,
I think Dolan's in the wrong for that.
Of course.
How does your security guard not know who the hell Charles Oakley is?
Yeah, and next game.
You know what? The other one that was funny. That reminds me of the one. Remember when Jeremy Lin was in Toronto? And the security guard on the bus didn't know who he was. He was like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Why?" He thought he was like trying to jump out. He thought he was some fan trying to get onto the bus. It's like, no, I'm Jeremy Lin. Remember me from those 10 games back in 2015, back in like 2014. All right, but anyway, so I think what's the weather supposed to be tomorrow for you for the Yankee game in New York?
I believe it's supposed to be a nice day. I'm confirming that right now.
But anyway, so while he's looking that up, so the thing that's fun about watching Aaron Judge, because like he's such a power hitter, and it's almost like, when is this guy not going to hit a home run?
Exactly. Yeah.
When he gets on the plate, watching a home run in person.
Oh my God.
Compared to watching it on TV,
so much better.
It's so much fun. Oh my God, you just get into it so much. I still remember that game. They're playing the Rays, and Aroldis Chapman lets up a home run. They're still up like 8-1. And there's this guy behind me screaming at Aroldis Chapman, "Get him off the mound!" I'm thinking to myself,
Yankee fan.
Well, he's not a Yankee fan. He's a drunk New York fan. He was not sober. Are you kidding?
Of course he wasn't.
He was not. So I guarantee you, this guy was wasted by the top of the fifth.
Probably
he really was.
Also, he was 8-0. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I guarantee you, at the 7th inning stretch, he couldn't even stand. I guarantee I couldn't even see him. He was behind me, but I could hear him.
Okay, I got the weather.
So
the game I'm going at is at 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. tomorrow, 67 degrees.
Oh my God!
Sunny.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Who's pitching the Yankee game that day? That's the one thing I don't know. Do they announce who's pitching the day of the game or the before?
Usually going into the at least a day before. That being said, sometimes if like an injury happens, they have to scramble. You may not know until a little bit closer to game time. But at this point, they need to have a couple of guys out. Rodon is out and Severino is out. It's probably Cortez, but don't quote me on that.
It's actually it's the probable answer is Clark Schmidt.
Okay, so they're probably I know why. Rodon was probably supposed to pitch, but Schmidt's taking his spot until Rodon gets back, so they're going with Schmidt.
Hey,
yes.
At least if the Yankees are going bad, or I'm gonna be having a few drinks with my dad.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. I would think it would be really exciting to see either Garrett Cole or Nestor Cortez pitch. That would be fun.
We'll Cole pitch yesterday.
Yeah, I know Cole pitched yesterday. That's what I'm saying. It's like if he pitched tomorrow, you'd be a lucky guy. You get to watch Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. Unfortunately, you then have to. Unfortunately, what makes up for it is that you have to deal with Aaron Boone and Giancarlo Stanton on the same team.
But Justin, at least I'm there with my dad with a few brewskis.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not talking. Oh yeah, the family is gonna be great. But talking about if you. I'm not necessarily sure if watching Giancarlo Stanton going up to the plate as a premium day at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Hey, try to look out for me on TV if you see me.
I'll try to find you.
We certainly will. But yeah, let's talk about the Mets. Mets win 5-3. Scherzer looks solid.
Scherzer played great except for like that one home run he messed up.
Had a rough sixth inning. He gave up the home run to Cooper, and then he think the double. But and the offense obviously looked good. Big day from Brandon Nimmo, which was good because he missed a bunch of spring training.
Yep.
So he comes off. He hadn't played a couple of weeks, and he had 3 RBIs. So that was good to see.
Yeah, Nimmo played well.
And I liked the bullpen looked very good, which is very good to see because obviously Edwin Diaz is out for the year, so bullpen's their biggest concern. You know, they went Brooks Raley. The first they went to Drew Smith, then Brooks Raley, and then David Robinson got the save, so it was good to see that they looked really good.
Yeah,
so,
and I did say it was going to be a 2-run game.
You did. You called it off camera. Justin said Mets going to win by 2, and he was right.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun game to watch. I tuned into it a little bit because I have like a break between one class and another that's at 7, so I went back and forth on a couple of games. Let's talk about, before we talk about MLB in general, because I do have a question for you. I think you know what's going to be about.
Yeah.
Pitch clock, excuse me. But we got to talk about Rangers Phillies. We have to talk about it. Let me start. First of all, Phillies had a 5-0 lead and they choked it. I mean, you know, come on. Are we serious? Like, it's the Rangers. Jacob deGrom had one of the worst pitching performances I think he's ever had his entire career.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that was... I was watching it, and I saw his stats, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, did the Mets get a break? They really... Yeah. I have never seen... I think if you guys didn't get Verlander, you would have been a little bit more upset that Jacob deGrom would have left. But I think because you guys did get him, I think every Met fan is just rejoicing over this because Jacob deGrom, injury prone, getting old, and look at what he's doing now in Texas.
If he had done like the AAV that he got over 3 years, I think I would have done it. But for 5 years for a guy who's 34 and already breaking down, it just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, first of all, $185 million my ass, deGrom. Like, obviously it's 1 star. I'm not saying he's gonna pitch for the entire year, but like I don't trust that he's gonna stay healthy. I'm very, you get Verlander, who is 40 compared to Verlander. deGrom was like 35, but still Verlander at this point in his career is probably a touch better than deGrom. And although he's out right now, he should be back in a week or 2.
Well, Verlander won a Cy Young. I mean,
sure, yeah, he came off 2 years and won a Cy Young
and a World Series.
Yeah. And World Series as well. So yeah, I would probably take him over deGrom at this point.
Yeah, I'd be very satisfied with your pitching core. You know, you got Max Scherzer and then Verlander. I mean, I would be more than satisfied.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. But yeah, and so let's talk about the pitch clock.
All right, let me first get out one thing first.
Okay.
So the whole Pete Alonso thing not getting to the bag, very stupid, very, very stupid. I don't think it happens again, though.
I doubt it.
I think that was just an opening day fluke. Anything can happen. You know, shit happens. Some of these umps just get it wrong because they are mortal. And then if you're like Angel Hernandez, you just do nothing right. That's what Angel Hernandez is gonna start doing. He's gonna see like somebody like 1 millimeter off the bag and is gonna penalize him. Like that'd be so funny. But I think that's a one-off thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever happens again. So I think they just like move past it. But in general, I was very, very,
I
very
was as well.
happy
I was as
with
well.
the pitch clock.
Yeah, I thought it was a major success. The Giants game was 2 hours and 33 minutes.
Yeah.
That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, that's the Giants. The Giants game. Yeah, that's basically a basketball game.
Yeah.
A basketball game is about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it needed to be. What's up?
Again, what's the pitch clock again?
So the pitch clock, how it works, I'm gonna get the times wrong. I know it. I know I'm gonna get the times wrong because I'm kind of I am that guy. I am him. But so if there's no one on base, the pitcher has 15 seconds to pitch.
Okay.
Or the batter has to like everyone has to be set and pitch. Like the batter has to be in the batter's box, and the pitcher needs to pitch within 15 seconds. If there are people on base, batter has to be in the batter's box, pitcher needs to be in, and they have about 30 seconds. I want to say it's like 25, 30 seconds.
Pretty sure, the pitch clock is 30 seconds.
Yeah, pitch clock is about 30 seconds for people on base. I think
it's almost like the shot clock in basketball.
It is like the shot clock. And I think what happens is if a batter is not in the batter's box, it's a strike.
Yes.
And then if a pitcher does not throw in time, what is it? It's a balk?
Yeah. I believe it's a ball.
It's a ball. Okay, that makes
it's a ball.
Okay, that's more than fair. I thought it was a balk for a second. No, it's which I would have thought was BS, but that's more than
it's a ball.
I think so number one, I think everything. This might be a hot take. This is probably the best thing Manfred has ever done, and I guarantee you, Manfred didn't even make it.
Probably not.
Because the problem is it's too good. I think the amount of time to pitch is more than fair. I think like why should a pitcher need 30 seconds to throw a pitch with no one on base? I do think they could maybe add what I feel like they should fix is, and this would be later on, they need to adjust the pitch clock depending on who's on base, depending on how many people are on base.
Yeah.
Like if it's bases loaded, I think 45 seconds is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because bases loaded, let's say for example, I'm just gonna throw out a team, okay? Let's say the Mets are playing the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Just an example.
Mm-hmm.
They probably will play each other at some point, but they could. But it's just an example for now. Mike Trout's up, bases loaded. You have Verlander pitching. To get the strategy ready to say, Mike Trout is at the plate. I don't want him to hit a grand slam on me.
Yeah.
I think 45 seconds is more than fair.
Yeah, I think the things with the pitch clock, I like it, but it can't decide a game.
It can't decide a game. I don't think it will decide a game. I think it will eventually. I think they'll put in some things to where it won't decide a game. Bases loaded, full count.
Yeah, at least maybe get rid of it in like the 9th inning, or maybe in the playoffs don't use it or something.
I don't think in the playoffs don't use it. I think 9th inning don't use it.
Yeah, I would say 9th inning don't use it. Like this can't decide a game or a playoff game or a World Series game.
No, I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to decide, but take it out of the 9th inning.
Yeah,
I keep it for the whole thing. Make it consistent. That's the thing. You shouldn't.
I would say if it's 3 runs or if it's a 3-run game or less in the 9th inning, I would take it off.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, but also we need to give MLB a bit of time. This is a new thing. I guarantee you next year if they bring it back, which so far I've been hearing positive things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other thing is, I said this too off camera, it does add a bit more strategy to the game.
Yeah.
It requires the catcher and the pitcher to have a little bit more chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
So, refresh me. Who's the catcher for the Mets again?
Omar Narvaez started yesterday.
Yeah, Omar Narvaez. Okay. So I'm just going to say him. So Omar Narvaez. He's with Max Scherzer. So now that there's a pitch clock, those two now need to kind of collaborate more and be like, okay, what's your pitches? What do you want to run for when? We have this here's the 9 that's going up that we're going up against. What do you want to throw for this?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
On that note, this is why the PitchCom technology is being used a lot more often than the pitchers. It was put in last year because with the sign stealing stuff that's been going on for mainly the Astros, but also the Red Sox did it, the Yankees did it. So There's been and this big going on pretty much all over baseball, so it's a way for like the pitchers. It's like a little technology they have in their hats. So the pitchers can actually call their own pitches without like the catcher putting down the sign, so like the hitters and no one from the dugout can possibly see. They can't see what pitch there is to take to like try to avoid a possible another sign stealing scandal, and like. And last year was kind of a mess. A lot of times you see pitchers, they would take off their hat, they would like their catcher, they would like look at his hat and they're like it wasn't working or they're having trouble with it. Obviously, you got like older guys like Scherzer who we weren't a fan of just because they're much more old school. But now guys are using it a lot more because of the pitch clock just to save time. And I believe Shohei Ohtani used it a lot yesterday. We're going to talk about him in a little bit later, probably a couple minutes actually. But yeah, pitch com is being used a lot more now for that reason.
Yeah. By the way, closing thoughts: pitch clock. Great idea. I told you off camera as well. I guarantee you 50 years from now, people won't even remember. If they do keep it, I don't think people will even remember a time when there wasn't a pitch clock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like us to where we don't remember a time when basketball didn't have a shot clock.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's just there, and it's worked very well.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great change for the MLB. I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. As I've said before, I do love baseball as a sport. I like watching college. I like watching Little League. Ask anybody. Mm-hmm. But MLB has been too slow for too long. I genuinely think that something like this could easily tie it with the NBA for second most watched sport in America. Because I'm sorry, no one's beating football. No one's going to beat it.
No one's even coming close.
No one's coming close. The NFL is the highest with 75% viewership. Second highest is NBA with 50. Third is MLB with like 49 point something. Mm-hmm. So I would say even reaching second highest by even a couple of percent is not something too far off for this team. So good job, Manfred. And by Manfred, I mean everyone else in the MLB committee outside of Rob Manfred.
For the pitch clock, I'll let you know tomorrow if the pitcher doesn't pitch within the 15 or 30 seconds, if it's going to be a ball.
Yeah, by the way, the first pitcher to get a pitch clock violation was Marcus Stroman. And the first hitter to get a pitch clock violation on the hitter was Rafael Devers. It was 2 strikes. He didn't get in the box in time. He was called out.
Yeah, I also think some of these baseball fans are really passionate. Mm-hmm. It would just be so funny to watch it to where like a pitcher... To a pitcher got a violation. What the hell? You throw the ball like it would just be so funny.
That would be funny. But yeah, before we move on to our next segment, I want to give you a Shohei Ohtani stat. So Ohtani pitched really well. He had 10 strikeouts. He is the 26th pitcher since 1901 with 10 strikeouts on opening day. He is the only one that lost the game. Your face, you were like from like, all right, let's see what I have to say to just depression.
This is textbook Angels.
It's textbook the most Angels thing ever.
How do you have Mike Trout, who is probably a top 3 player in the MLB?
I'll say number 2. I would say Ohtani's better than him now, but I would still say he's number 2.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And then you have Shohei Ohtani, who's probably the best. And you lose. They need to. I think they need to make Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout their GMs. They really do. I'm not one to say let the teams general manage their players, but if you're doing everything and you're losing, I can't. You know what? That is an example of something in the esports world known as a J-Baby Classic. If anyone doesn't know, back when I was on esports, I would basically have games to where I just carry, and we'd lose. I'd be pissed. I'm like, I cannot do more. I cannot do more. Shohei Ohtani could not do more. I swear. God, I can't stand the Angels. Oh my God.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about the NBA.
You can't spell you can't spell Los Angeles without L.
You really can't. All right, moving on to basketball. So NBA is winding down. So Justin, what?
Oh no.
So let's talk about your Miami Heat.
No.
I know you don't want to, but I think it's. But let's touch on them.
I don't want to.
So
there's 29 other teams, right? There's 29 other teams.
So, Justin.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on the Miami Heat?
No.
And their chance to maybe win a series.
I genuinely think this team can make it out of the play-ins.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can on any day. I don't want them to make it out of the play-ins. And I'm going to explain later why that is. Because if anyone's been following me or watching this or watching Talking Sports with Jake when I'm on there, my entire thing is that I want the Heat to fail this year. And I'll explain. Let me explain why right now. Because the reason why I want them to fail is so then they can wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up, smell the coffee. It's an 8 a.m. It's 10 in the morning. I'm sure you can. Okay, Kyle Lowry, the signing on paper should have been very good. Apparently, there's a rumor to where this is not what they thought Kyle Lowry would be. Mm. They thought Kyle Lowry was going to be, they thought they were getting an all-star point guard. That's exactly what the rumor says in quote. They thought they were getting an all-star point guard, that they were getting an NBA champion. Even though he wasn't the best on that Raptors team, it was Kawhi. He was still an integral part of that,
absolutely.
of that championship team. So you'd think that he would take that over to Miami. He did not. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Re-signing Victor Oladipo was a mistake.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. That was a mistake. They shouldn't have done in the first place.
Didn't spend a lot of money on him, but yeah.
First place. I know you re-signing Dwayne Dedmon in free agency was a mistake, and then trading him for a second round pick was a mistake. You got way too much for a guy who did nothing. A second round pick? You kidding me?
You sent the second round pick along with him, yeah.
You sent a second round pick along with him? Come on, get out of here. And then I think failing to sign PJ Tucker was a problem.
Yeah.
I felt like they could have given him a little bit more cash. Also, PJ, you want a ring chase? Why the hell are you doing it on the Sixers? I thought all of those were mistakes. I think picking up all these undrafted guys, they have 9 undrafted players, was a mistake. I think getting Cody Zeller and Kevin Love out of buyouts was a mistake. I
think Kevin Love can help them. He's not gonna.
He's done though. His career's done. It's his time.
He's not gonna make a break,
but
I think he could kind of help on the bench. Cody Zeller,
it's his time to pack it up. Zeller. I feel like I don't know why. The difference is that Pat and all of it could be pointed at Pat Riley. Mm. Pat Riley, for some reason, is trying to do some kind. Probably, I don't know what he's trying to do. I feel like he was in his mansion one day, because we know he has one probably because he's loaded.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden on Netflix saw the movie Moneyball and was like, you know what? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And all of a sudden he's in the room with all the scouts and he throws out a magnet onto the whiteboard. Kevin Love. Why Kevin Love? Why Kevin Love? He gets on the floor. Instead of he gets on base, oh yeah, he gets on the floor.
He gets on the floor.
He gets on the floor. He gets points.
8 of them.
Yeah, he gets 8 of them. Doesn't get a lot. So that's what I want. I want Pat Riley to wake up and realize, hey, this was on me. Like, I want him at this meeting to say, because at last year's press conference, he kind of went off on some players. He's like, about like what players excelled. And he was right. There were players that did excel last year.
Last year, they were one went away from the finals.
They were one shot away from the finals.
Yeah.
They were even closer than that. That was a great series, by the way. 7-game series. That was a great series. I don't care if you're a Heat fan, Celtics fan, or not, or neither. It was a good series. But now he should be going into that press conference and being like, "This is all on me.
Mm-hmm.
This is all on me." I do not know why they have not opted to buy out Duncan Robinson's contract yet. He is a waste of a spot. I think allowing Udonis Haslem to just come back to steal that 20th seat on the team was a mistake.
They should probably make him a coach.
They should have made him an assistant coach. He clearly loves this team, and I can't there's no disrespect to that at all. To be loyal to a team, but you don't play. You're 42. You do not play. Jeez, even Vince Carter played when he was 42. I mean, it wasn't good, but he played.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So that's all I want. I just want Pat Riley to wake up and say, all right, this season was on me. Not making the proper moves in offseason, not making proper moves in trade deadlines. My time to step it up and to finally go for some players that can win for like a win now team. Because if they just kick up one or two good pieces in free agency, they could be a win now team.
Yeah.
I know they can. But this year is not it. To answer your question, I think what they do is I think they make it out of the play-ins, and I think they somehow beat the Sixers in the first round. Because the Sixers like to wake up in the morning and they're like, how do we lose? how do I lose in this? Or they'll just lose in the first round, which is also fine too. But that's I think I explained everything about the Heat. If you want to talk about a different team now, please.
All right, I'll talk about the Knicks. So, I mean, look, are they going to win a championship? In no way, shape, or form. But they're probably going to play Cleveland in the first round. They're probably, and then with the 5 seed, they're probably too far away from the 4 seed to snatch home court advantage, but far enough away from the 6 seed that Brooklyn or Miami won't swoop it from them. They'll probably play Cleveland. I think they can beat Cleveland. I think that'll be a good series. Not going to win more than a round.
I think it goes to 7. I think that's anyone's game. I think Randall's out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I think it's okay. If it's just for 2 weeks,
yeah,
then that's fine. He gets rest up for playoffs. If he needs to be out for another week, another week, that's where I'm a little bit concerned for the Knicks. Because he's arguably your second best player, arguably your best. If Brunson's not playing, Randall's your best.
Yeah.
I think Brunson's the best, but I think Randall's second.
Yeah.
Then probably quickly, I'd say. IQ's good. I'll say it. IQ's good.
He's been playing very well.
I think he has improved. That's the whole thing. I am not an Emmanuel Quickly hater. I just think he needs to become more consistent on that ball.
Yeah.
He's a little bit trigger happy at times. There's some moments to where he just doesn't really think about the shot. And I'm not saying he's a bad player. What I'm saying is that he can grow to be a good player.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's on that trajectory. I don't see anyone else beating him for 6th man of the year. I really don't.
I think I would.
There has been no 6th man of the year that's really done anything outside of him, or has made the most impact on their team, I'd say, than he did. So it's a solid team. I think Tibbs turned this team around from his slow start.
Overall, he's done a good job.
I think he's back to what they were. But yeah, that's going to be a great series though. But if Randall's hurt,
I would be worried.
That's where I'd be concerned because I think if everyone's healthy on both sides, that series goes to 7.
Yeah.
I think if Randall is hurt, I think it might be to 5 or 6.
I would say Cleveland in 6.
I'd say Cleveland in 6 and max. I could even see Cleveland in 5. You're losing Randall, who's your good defender. He's a good defender. He's a solid size piece that you need.
A little better defensively, yeah.
He's a good size piece that you need. They're going to be a little short without him. I don't trust Mitchell Robinson, especially in a playoff scenario. Even at least Hartenstein made it to the playoffs a couple of times with Houston.
Yeah.
And Hartenstein's been great for that team too.
He does everything.
I think you should make him center 1, but
I think so too.
I think you guys should, but you guys have a good team. I'll be watching it because I do like the Knicks. My second favorite team is the Knicks because I'm from New Jersey, so you got to respect New York. Its third team is probably the Nets, mainly because they used to be from New Jersey. So they still have kind of like a place in my heart. Almost like I can guarantee you, if you ask people in Seattle who's their favorite team, they might say the Thunder.
Yeah, because they used to be in Seattle.
Jay-Z, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, Jay-Z, all-time great rapper, but you're an idiot, bro. They remember the last time they made it to the finals, they were in New Jersey.
They were.
Prudential diff. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, before we move on, let's do our awards pick. So you already said we already agree that we have Emmanuel Quickly as our 6th man of the year. Justin, who's your MVP?
Ooh. I actually think it's tougher than people think it is.
It's very close this year.
There are players that I genuinely think are underrated for this team.
Mhm.
There is somebody that I want to talk about who I think is incredibly underrated for MVP, and that's Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Jalen, if you're talking about a most valuable player,
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson turned that team around
He
from
did.
last year.
Yeah.
He absolutely did. I think because I think he's really done well at that starting position, being like the main floor general. Do I think he could probably benefit more as a 2 guy? Probably, but for right now, he's adapted well. I know New York loves him.
Oh my God!
He's done so much for that team. He's not going to win MVP, but I think he should still be in the conversation.
I would say he could be in like a top 10. 15.
I think he should be in. I think he should be top 7 in the MVP ladder. Yeah. I think the winner. That's a tough question.
It's so tight this year. Maybe it's closest as it's ever been.
I don't think it's Giannis.
I agree.
I think it should. I think I'm gonna be boring, and I'm going to say it's Jokic again. Jokic literally cannot do more for this team. This team does not win when he does not play. This year the Nuggets are 3-6 without him.
Yeah.
That number one shows how healthy he is, and it also shows that they can't win without him.
Yeah.
Maybe you could beat the Hornets without Jokic, but that's not saying much when their second best player, when their third best player was like what is like what I don't know who's on the team. Gordon Hayward still? Yeah, it's like Gordon Hayward. When your third best player is Gordon Hayward, I'm not impressed. When the other coach you're going up against is Steve Clifford, I'm not sure that's difficult. But this team does not go anywhere. This team doesn't even come close to the number 1 seed.
I don't know if they make plans without Jokic.
No, they're probably a 12th. They're probably an 11th seed.
Probably
if he's not on this team. Whenever they have whenever Jokic has a triple double, their record for that is even better. I think they finally lost like 2 weeks ago. I think they finally lost their first game.
They've lost like twice this whole year when he's had a triple double.
Yeah, they've lost. I think 3. I think they're like 25-3 when he has a triple double.
Like
if that is not the definition of MVP, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to agree with you. It's really close between Embiid is really close as he's been the last 3 years. It appears that Jokic and Embiid have been going at it for the MVP, and then of course guys like Giannis and the other guy and Tatum been involved. But those have been the top 2 candidates. I think there's a much more of a case for Joel Embiid this year, but I still do think it's Jokic because Jokic is averaging a triple double. He's averaging 24 point triple double. Denver's the number 1 seed, like he said. He's dropping triple doubles almost every night. They're like you said, they're like 20+ games over 500 when he has triple double. Whenever he doesn't play, they look like a completely different team. They look like almost like a lottery team at that point. And just also, it didn't sit well with me. So the Sixers got this big game against who I forgot if it was against Milwaukee or Boston. Embiid's not playing. It was
against the Nuggets.
Yeah, so it's against Denver, against a team the best team in the West, arguably a top 5 team in the NBA. It's the chance for Embiid to prove why he's the MVP, not Jokic, and he doesn't even play. Like if he's hurt, he's hurt. And I know you don't get hurt for the player, but he couldn't play. Like it's one thing if you play like the freaking Hornets and you don't play. Okay, they can still win with that.
Yeah, this is arguably one of their biggest games.
Yeah, and he's not even playing. But like that didn't sit well with me. I know Jokic just missed a couple of games, but he also has to do a lot more there since he does not have too much help with Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray not being on the court.
That's the other thing. Michael Porter. That's the other thing. Jokic has literally no help.
Literally. His
second best player is a one-legged Jamal Murray. And Jamal Murray used to be very, very good, but unfortunately he got hurt and he hasn't been the same since that injury. Your third best player is Facundo Campazzo. Get out of here.
And then Michael Porter Jr. will be, but he's never on the court.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you have Aaron Gordon playing power forward.
He's decent, but I mean, He's there for this. He's there to play defense.
Yeah, let me say, Michael Malone does not have a job if Jokic isn't on this team.
Probably not. He's a decent coach, but not a great coach. He's kind of a douche.
I think he could be a solid interim coach, almost like what Nate McMillan was for the Hawks for that 1 year. But outside of that, dude, this guy is bad. This guy is bad. At least Jokic has a lot of help on. Fuck. It's 8 a.m., guys. It's 10 a.m. actually. Joel Embiid has a lot of help.
Yeah.
He has James Harden. He has Tyrese Maxey. He has Tobias Harris, who has a good game once every 3 games, but still, at least he has some. They have a pretty solid bench.
He's got
rotation.
more help than
He's got more
Jokic.
help. He has way more help than Jokic, and also he does have Doc Rivers, who is still a solid coach once you reach the second round. And then at that point you just kind of lose. But either way, but there's the question of who can win and who should. Yeah. Who can win is Giannis, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Luka. I think if he didn't have the incident with the guns and stuff, Ja would be up there. Yeah. But I think who should win is probably Jokic.
I think so too. All right, so let's go defensive player of the year.
Ooh, that's also tight.
It's very tight.
But it's not Rudy.
It is not.
It might actually be OG Anunoby.
That's a good one. Ooh.
It probably is. Leads the league in steals. Has pretty good. Is not the leader in blocks, but still has some good blocks. He's a good defense. He's a great defender. He's one of the very few highlights of a Raptors team that isn't doing well this season.
Yeah, they'll make the play. Might get the 10 spot by default, but they're not gonna. I don't think they come out of the plans.
No, they don't. But he's one of the very few highlights. It's some of the major highlights are like Gary Trent, Pascal Siakam, absolutely, and OG Anunoby. Yeah. I think he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
I actually have an interesting one. I think it's Jalen McDaniels.
That's a good one too.
He's very underrated. I think because he plays in Minnesota. Minnesota isn't exactly a ratings monster, obviously.
Nope.
If you look at his stats, he has been a lock. He's like at the top, near the top of like every defensive category. He's been an absolute lock this year. I think he's my defensive player of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year's interesting because usually your top candidates, Rudy Gobert, Draymond, guys like that, guys with that.
Usually bigger guys.
Marcus Smart won last year, but this year, you really can't have Gobert. I don't think Gobert. He'll be in the conversation, but I don't think it's him. Obviously, Draymond's not the. I don't think Draymond's the same anymore.
Draymond's not winning Defense Player of the Year. Not even close.
So it's kind of much more open this year, and I'm going with Jalen McDaniels, but OG Anunoby is definitely up there as well.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think they'll be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Coach of the Year.
Oh, it's Mike Brown.
I was gonna say.
So let me sort of give some honorable mentions. Joe Mazzulla definitely deserves to be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously Michael Malone will be in the conversation because it always has been the 2 number 1 teams.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah. Who are in it, and then one other. But I think it's Mike Brown, and I genuinely don't. If this Coach of the Year race is close, whoever did not vote for Mike Brown, I do think is stupid. And I'm sorry, I know it's out of opinion, but it is stupid. The Sacramento Kings are the New York Jets of basketball.
Yeah.
Of basketball. They had the worst playoff drought. They have not made the playoffs since 2006. We were 4 years old.
4 years old. I'm talking about the
we were 4 years old.
4 years old.
We were 4 years old. I think Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox at the time was 8.
Keegan Murray was 5.
Yeah, Keegan Murray was 5.
The iPhone wasn't even out yet.
What's that?
The iPhone wasn't even out yet.
No, the iPhone wasn't even out yet. It was the iPod Touch. It was absolutely. They were a laughingstock for years. This entire team was just a team that you just walked by. It was like, oh, we have the Kings on schedule, easy win. They did not make these crazy off-season moves. Mike Brown turns them around, locks them in for, what are they, the 3rd seed?
Yeah.
He locks them in. He locks them in for the 3rd seed, which is such a jump because even if they made play-ins, that would have satisfied people. No, they made it to the 3rd seed to where they bypassed the play-ins, and they could even make a team. I don't think they make it past the second round, but they could make any team have a series.
Yeah.
They really could. So I think Mike Brown, with the pieces he was given and the fact that he was basically asked to make a laughingstock of a team with the longest playoff drought in sports history to succeed and is an absolute, it's a great story, and I think he's coach of the year by far.
I have to agree with you. He's definitely coach of the year. I don't think it's remotely close. He's a guy who I've always liked. He got, yes, his first stint in Cleveland. I know he had prime LeBron in Cleveland, and LeBron had a lot to do with his success and winning coach of the year. But I do think Brown deserves at least a little more credit than people give him for. I mean, yes, LeBron kind of dragged that team that was not good to the finals, but I think Mike Brown deserved credit for that as well.
Yep.
And he was an assistant coach of Golden State for a while. Has worked with a lot of great players. And I think that's one of the reasons that he's done so much. He's worked with so many great players. He worked with LeBron in Cleveland as an assistant in Golden State. He worked with Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, all those guys. But he's worked with so many great players. He's gained so much wisdom. He's worked under some good coaches. Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is one of them. And so he's got a real good resume. And
the other scary thing as well is that because some of these Western teams are falling apart a little bit, they could potentially make the finals.
Yeah, you look at the West. Yeah,
if the Kings win a ring this year, they should replace Doc Rivers with Mike Brown on top 15 coaches of all time. And I'm being dead serious.
They might as well at that point.
I'm being dead serious. Doc Rivers had like 8 Hall of Famers on his team. He had 4 Hall of Famers on the same team and only won 1 ring. He won 1 ring. Compared to Mike Brown, who had DeMontis Sabonis, Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox and Friends, and which is the show Fox and Friends, and take them and got them the 3 seed. And if they do win a ring, give it to him.
Exactly. Which it's not even that out of the question, but also I want to say one thing. Although I'm still not sure if they want to trade, the Halliburton trade, I don't think is that bad.
Oh no, it wasn't. Oh no, it was a good trade. But imagine if they somehow kept Halliburton on this team. If they somehow kept Halliburton on that team would probably be a finals contender.
They trade Halliburton, Buddy Hield, I think one more piece, and they got back DeMontis Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and somebody else. I still think Indiana, you could argue, still may have slightly won the trade, but that's much more even. It was bashed at the time, and rightfully so. But it does not look nearly as lopsided. I think it's much, much closer to a win-win trade now looking back.
Definitely.
Yeah. So he's our coach of the year, and here's our last one, which is probably gonna need some thinking. Who's your most improved player this year?
First of all, real quick, rookie of the year is probably Paolo Banchero.
Oh yeah,
that's a quick one.
Mm-hmm. But I will say Jalen's not gonna say he's balling. Kudos to him. He'll be a finalist, but yeah, it's Paolo Banchero.
I think it's probably Paolo. Benedict Mathurin should also be up there, but it's Paolo.
Yeah.
Most improved player is the hardest.
It definitely is.
It's MVP and most improved player are probably the hardest because there are 2 play. I think it's, though I still think that it is a 2-horse race. It's between Lauri Markkanen or Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
And I think both are right. But I am leaning a little bit towards Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay. Because
Tyrese Halliburton has played in a way to where if I ask myself, I'm building a team, I need a starting point guard.
Yeah.
I think Tyrese Halliburton fits the bill.
Oh, absolutely.
For what a point a point guard.
He's exactly what a point guard should be.
He is probably a perfect point guard.
I really agree.
He is. He's a floor general. He knows he can pass it anywhere. He can shoot. He can shoot from anywhere. He can shoot the 3 pretty well. He doesn't need to be the primary defender, but he's exactly what you need him to be. Primary floor general, primary passer, and then primary interior and sometimes perimeter shooting. Yeah. I think that is more. I think that step up from Sacramento to now, I think it's been so huge. So I think he's gonna win most improved player.
Yeah, I'm between the 2. I am leaning a little bit towards Lauri Markkanen.
Once again, also a very good
Yeah,
pick.
I don't even know, honestly. It's so close between those two. That might be even closer to the MVP race, to be honest. I'm going to say Lauri Markkanen. He's taken a huge step forward. He came up in Chicago. He was pretty good. It was kind of a weird situation there. Then he gets moved to Minnesota, and he was wait. I might have that backwards.
Lauri Markkanen goes to
No, he was
in Cleveland.
No, yeah. Minnesota drafted and they traded him just in Jimmy Butler trade. He was in Chicago.
Yep, then went to Cleveland.
He went to Cleveland. He was good. He was solid there, but he had some injuries. But he has completely broken out in Utah. Although obviously Utah, if you could, you would have kept Donovan Mitchell, but that's a great piece to get back. They did get a pretty good return for him. That's a great piece for them to build around. Both are having an incredible year. Both had breakout years. I'm gonna, by the slightest hair possible, go.
Yeah, but once again, I think both of them deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else outside of those two deserve it.
Can't think of anybody else.
No, I really don't. Maybe you could say OG Anunoby because he kind of stepped up his game a bit, but it's probably Halliburton.
I mean, like numbers-wise, Brunson's numbers have been a lot better than expected.
But Brunson was also good in Dallas as well.
So I kind of compare, like, John Morant won Most Improved Player. Like, he was like already a top 5 MVP candidate, gave Most Improved Player. If I'm John, I was like,
it should have been to Desmond Bane.
Yeah, and like, if I'm Jalen Brunson, I'm like, wait, so I'm dropping 30. I'm not dropping 30 overnight. I carried this garbage franchise to possibly have playoff series win, and you say, oh yeah, Most Improved Player. Well, I'm like, gee, thanks. So yeah. But yeah, it's either Markkanen or Halliburton. It's not even close.
No, absolutely.
All right, so we have a couple more segments. I do want to talk about Lamar Jackson.
Lamar, okay.
So
let's talk about Lamar, buddy. All right, peace out, Liam.
All right, Liam's got to run. Thank you, Liam, for helping the back as always. Let's talk about Lamar. So, I mean, I've talked about him on my show plenty of times. You guys saw, I had Ryan on here a couple of days ago. That was on Tuesday.
Yes, you did. I saw that. I almost wish I was there. I was jealous. I was like,
yeah, we talked about him, and I want to get. I may have already covered this, but I think there's one thing people are missing. People are like, why isn't he getting a job? Apart from that, he's got a lot of injury concerns. That he wants 200. I heard he doesn't want fully guarantee, but he wants more guarantee money than Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson got 230, so he's looking at something for like 5 or 250, probably like 230 guaranteed. He wants too much money to the point he's already breaking down. He's 25, 26, and most of these running quarterbacks don't even break down before 30. I mean, Cam Newton one day looked like an MVP, the next day looked like he couldn't throw a ball 5 yards. RG3, his first year, thought was going to be
for anyone who doesn't know, it's Robert Griffin III.
Yeah, we thought he would be an all-time great, and then it seemed like overnight he forgot how to play. And obviously because of his knee.
Even Jameis Winston.
Yeah, and
I mean, he also threw like 40 picks, but in one season. But nonetheless, he was still one of those like running quarterbacks who also gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, and RG3 was the guy. His first year was amazing. Like, oh my god, the Redskins at the time. Now the Commanders finally found a franchise quarterback. They're gonna be great for a long time. And of course he hurt his knee, and
that was it.
And that was his entire career basically. But so people don't realize the Ravens put the tag on him. Teams had to give up 2 first-round picks to get him. So not only do they have to pay him possibly $250 million, they had to give up 2 first-round picks for him.
Stupid.
Like, people need to realize. Like, all these former teams, they aren't even reaching out. Like, I understand where they're coming from. Look, he has not been given the great hand in Baltimore. He could have used some better weapons. Also, he's got 1 playoff win in 5 years. He wants to play like Mahomes. It's not all his fault, but at the end of the day, he's got 1 playoff win in 5 years. He wants to be paid like he's Patrick Mahomes, who's obviously the best.
Just go to the Giants. He will be.
Yeah, but like, it baffles me that people are like freaking out that like no one's even reaching out. No one's reaching out because look how many red flags I can list. I should not be able to come up with that many red flags, and for a guy who wants the amount of money that Lamar Jackson wants.
Yeah, like I said, people might hear me constantly call him Lamar. I don't like him. I think he's overrated.
A little bit, yeah.
I think yes, his best season was his 1 MVP season.
The 1 year.
Yeah, it was 1 year. And yes, obviously, I mean, that's obvious. Yes, obviously, your best year would be your MVP year. But, I mean, look at some of these people who have still had great years and didn't win MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes last year had a great season. And he had a great year and didn't win MVP.
Yeah, he did.
No, last year, like 2021, 2022.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you mean last season? Like this past season?
Like 2 seasons ago.
Oh, yeah.
2 seasons ago, he had a great...
It was Aaron Rodgers.
It was Aaron Rodgers. Yes, that's saying. So he had a great year and didn't win MVP. At least he still had a really, really good year outside of that. Compared to Lamar Jackson, where he had one great year, which is MVP year, one, like you said, one playoff game, and then after that, just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. Sure, he'll give you a couple of highlights. He'll give you thing with like running the ball and stuff. That's the other thing. I hate this guy's game. I hate his game so much. His game to me is selfish and annoying. And I know that's cruel to say. But back when they had back when they had Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, I know it's his nickname, but Marquise Brown sounds better. Hollywood is mainly for stars. But you know that's true.
That was a good one.
You know that's true. But anyway, he would have Hollywood Brown wide open. He would have the greatest pocket you've ever seen in your life. Hollywood Brown is wide open. Jalen Ramsey can't do anything to stop that. Or no, Eli Apple can't do anything to stop that. And he decides to run it for 10 yards. You had a 50-yard pass wide open, Lamar. Why are you deciding to run the ball again? It's just such a stupid play style. It doesn't work. Also, his arm isn't that good.
No.
His arm isn't that good. He doesn't have a deep ball.
No.
He doesn't have this wide range of passes. It's mainly run the ball or throw it 5 yards. That doesn't make you good. That makes you Cam Newton. At least Cam Newton made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes, he got absolutely destroyed by Von Miller and Wash Peyton Manning, but still, at least he made it.
Yeah.
Unlike Lamar, who was supposed to make it. Lamar was supposed to be this like great player, this all-time great. People thought MVP like this. This guy is part of the new generation. No, I actually think he's on his way out, especially because of the money he wants. He doesn't deserve $50 million a year. I don't even think he deserves $40 million. I think he deserves 25, 35 maybe.
Yeah. I would probably 40 would be my cap, probably 35, 37. 40 a year would be my cap for him.
I think some teams could benefit from this guy, but only for a short period of time. For a short-term option. You know what? They should just go to the Colts at this point.
At this point, yeah, like I know people like Colts still want a veteran quarterback, but like if they can't get the guy they want, because now there's 2 teams in front of them that want a quarterback, so if they can't get the guy they want in the draft, you might as well just take a shot.
Yeah, because it's gonna be apparently Anthony Richardson's gonna go first, and then it's gonna be either Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
And then what I would say is, if I'm the Colts, so if Anthony Richardson goes first, and Bryce Young goes second, if I'm the Colts, I'm going for Stroud.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, I'm going for Stroud.
It depends. Like,
I'll probably pick up Will Levis.
If Anthony Richardson goes first and then Young goes second, obviously Arizona will take probably will take Will Anderson. And if Stroud's a guy they like and he's there, yes, I would take him. But let's say Stroud goes number 1, and then Bryce Young. I'm hearing Houston loves Bryce Young. So now let's say it's Anthony Richardson. If they don't like Anthony Richardson, it's either you draft a quarterback that you don't have faith in, which could set you back 5 years, or you sign Lamar. Look, Lamar needs peace. I think with pieces, Lamar can win you a Super Bowl. But I don't know if Indy has them. I like Pittman. He could be a 1. Definitely a good 2. I'm not sure if he's a 1. I like Alec Pierce. I like Ali Cox, the tight end. Jonathan Taylor, we saw what we can do 2 years ago. Took a step back last year. But I think if he's healthy, he can be a...
I don't know why he took a step back, because he was on my fucking fantasy team. That's exactly
yeah,
why.
Exactly. Number one overall pick for me as well.
Every single time I pick up a player in fantasy that's supposed to be really good, something happens to them. People might not know this, but in sophomore year for fantasy, you know who I picked up? Henry Ruggs.
That's right, you did.
I picked up Henry Ruggs, who was supposed to be good, but then decided, hey, let me drink and drive.
Yeah. But yeah, just I think they have some pieces, and I like their defense. I like the staff there with Steichen. They kept Gus Brown at deep coordinator, which I think is a good move. O-line needs a little bit of work, but so I think of Lamar, they are much better. They are definitely the second best team in the South, and they could make the playoffs. They probably win a Super Bowl. In fact, honestly, the only place he wins a Super Bowl probably is the Jets. Trust me, I don't want him on the Jets, and he does not fit their offense, but talent-wise,
and age-wise, I mean, also Lamar Jackson, to his credit, is still a young guy.
He is.
But I mean, also probably be out of the league early, just like RG3, but nonetheless, still a young dude, would fit with that young court they have. But hopefully, the Jets get Aaron Rodgers.
Looks like it's happening.
Looks like it is, but I really hope it's for Zach Wilson.
That would be hilarious.
That would be so funny. Because I've been joking around with Liam, saying that that's gonna be Zach Wilson, Mekhi Becton, and a 6th-round pick. And for some reason, that trade package is not looking unlikely.
Yeah, so before we wrap up, we gotta talk about WrestleMania. WrestleMania is this weekend, 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. I believe it's Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday I believe it starts at the same time. I am so excited. Justin and I will be watching. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about night 1, Saturday night. Austin Theory is defending his United States Championship against the 16-time world champion John Cena.
I mean, there's the biased answer and then there's the correct answer. The biased answer is John Cena. The correct answer might be Austin Theory.
I'm not sure how much sense it makes to have Cena win this match. I mean, he's a part-timer. This is only his second match in the last
5 years, maybe. I don't
not
know,
5 years. He was last full time in 2016. He usually didn't used to do more matches as a part-timer, but it's only his second match since January. It's only his second match in the last almost a year and a half. So I love John Cena. He's my favorite all-time wrestler. When I was younger, at my dad's house, I had fat heads of him all in my room. You walk into my room, you'd be like, "Wow, this kid loves John Cena." Yeah. But also, might make more sense.
Yeah, I want Cena to win, obviously, because I just like it. Obviously, the story would be because Austin Theory, you're not supposed to like the guy. He's a douchebag. He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's his character, and it would kind of be you have John Cena, who's all hustle, loyalty, respect.
Yeah.
This very kind of like one of the biggest faces WWE's ever seen. Always the good guy and everything. That's kind of how the story would be I gotta humble your ass, I think that's how it could work.
Yeah, and by the way, Stu the cameraman, you better be there. I need Stu there. Just in case you don't know, I didn't even know this until a few months ago. Cena, you know how when he's staying on the stage and he's just talking into the camera?
Yeah.
Well, he's saying the cameraman Stu.
Yeah.
Apparently, because they become really good friends, he's always like, "Hey, Stu!" I didn't even know that, and then I saw a video about it. I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" And then when he returned on Raw and challenged Austin Theory, I listened to it. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Stu the cameraman's gonna. Yeah, I have a quick prediction.
I need Stu there.
I have a quick prediction for WrestleMania. Pat McAfee's going. I'm calling it right now. Pat McAfee's there.
I mean, the reason he has not returned to commentary is because his podcast is really jumping off the page now, and I believe he's on.
You would also people thought he wouldn't be there for Royal Rumble.
That's true.
I also called that he'd be there for Royal Rumble.
He did, and also
I am 2-0 in calling things for pay-per-view WWE.
You are
because I called Pat McAfee being at Royal Rumble. I called Kevin Owens. You remember that I called Kevin Owens and Jey Uso coming in for that final match at Elimination
Jey
Chamber.
Uso, I thought myself, I was like, Kevin Owens is gonna come in, and he just shows up. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. So, but yeah, you never know. By the way, the reason he hasn't returned to commentary is because of his podcast, and also his I believe his wife is expecting a baby. So that's not a reason why. But yeah, we'll see. But that's the match we have. The SmackDown Women's Championship: Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
That's a great match.
Yes.
That's a great match. They're both really, really good. They're both great. I kind of like Rhea Ripley in this. I do.
I think
it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a tight game, but I think it's gonna be
great match. This is part 3, Charlotte versus Ripley. Charlotte won. They fought many times. The first 2 big ones, Charlotte won. I think this is where Rhea takes it. Like, by the way, I love Charlotte Flair as a face. She did an interview, saying she thought her character got a little stale, so when she came back, she wanted to be a face, and it's worked really well. You see, she's now signing all these autographs for kids. Cause she, when she was a heel, she seemed like someone who wouldn't really do that, but because she was a heel, it just wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But now she's a face. She's always been like that. But now she's a face. She's really been able to do that, and she's much happier now, which is good. For me, a great match. Charlotte Flair's one of the all-time greats, but I think it's time. This might be a launching pad for Rhea Ripley. Yep. All right, this is just one unified tag team championship: the Uso versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So Zayn and KO finally came together. They're gonna face the Usos for the tag team titles.
Okay, I feel that this right here, because WrestleMania is, I don't think it's a stretch to say that this is the Super Bowl of the WWE. Mm. This is like the climax of wrestling, of WWE right here. I think this is kind of the start of the fall of the bloodline. Mm. So that's why, the storyline has just been set up so well. Sami Zayn becomes an honorary Uso, basically sacrifices his body for them all the time. Kevin Owens comes in, tries to tell him, "Hey, you're a dumbass." He fights Roman Reigns, loses. Sami Zayn finally is fed up with the bloodline and decides to go and turns on Roman Reigns. Then Sami Zayn fights Roman Reigns in Elimination Chamber, loses, and then Kevin Owens comes in to save him, to kind of help him out. I really think I wouldn't understand why they'd set all this up only for both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to come back together to lose.
Yeah, so
I feel like it's worked out. I feel like they're trying to follow a storyline here. Mm-hmm. And I think the great story would be if they beat them at WrestleMania, if they beat the Usos at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So I'm split. I don't know if Roman loses, which he might. I don't know if he'll even show up for a while. I know he's lightened his schedule for a reason. He's going Hollywood. I don't think he's gonna be a full-time wrestler for that much longer. We'll start the Monday after WrestleMania, which is the best Monday Raw of the year every year.
Yep.
I don't know. So
a part of me has a very dumb prediction, but it's very strange. But hear me out and trust my process.
Wait, whenever Justin says that, he's always right. So listen up, everybody.
There has been, with the bloodline, there's been a bit of a side story. Mm-hmm. And that started in Royal Rumble with Jey Uso.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jey Uso is, he chose Jimmy Uso.
Well, I know he chose Jimmy Uso. But all I'm saying is, what if there's this story here to where maybe he's made he kind of thinks about his relationship with Sami Zayn, and he just does not, and he just doesn't go for a finisher on him, kind of I'm not saying throw the game, but kind of has a change of heart and is like, I can't do this.
Don't think it'll happen, but that'll be crazy.
Trust my process. No, yeah. I don't think it will, but yeah. I think it would be a cool story.
That would be crazy. And also, my one thing, even if Roman loses, the bloodline storyline, I don't think has to end, because now...
I don't think it's going to end, but I think, the power it's had is going to start to dwindle at this point.
So now you have, you have Cody Rhodes just fought Solo Sikoa. Could that be a rivalry? Now Zayn and Owens could, you could have eventually Sami fight Jimmy Uso. I think there's so many. I think you can still extend the bloodline storyline even if you have Roman lose, and even if he's not there, you could still have the Usos and Solo Sikoa be a faction. So yeah, I'm not sure who's gonna win that match. We shall see. My prediction.
What time does WrestleMania start, by the way?
I think 7:30.
Okay.
So I don't know.
What's up next on Saturday? Is that it?
No, I'm thinking one more win. I think the Usos might win. We don't know. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Ooh.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Logan Paul bailed out Austin Theory in the Elimination Chamber.
He did.
Mainly because Seth Rollins was cooked as it is. As it was at that time, Logan Paul just comes in, just like kicks him in the face. Really did not have to do that much. Logan Paul's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He, unlike his brother, though, at least he actually made a career for himself and fought real wrestlers, unlike his brother that has fought like washed UFC fighters.
Basically.
Washed MMA fighters, UFC fighter, whatever, same thing. But I do kind of think, I think this is a great, revenge thing for Seth Rollins. I want to see him win, and I think he will win. I feel like the inexperience from Logan Paul is going to come out on this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a great match. First of all, they don't like each other, these two. Seth Rollins went on 2 podcasts and said, he does not like Logan Paul. So they don't like each other in real life. I think it's going to be a great match. Logan Paul is a really good wrestler. He's actually a legit wrestler. So I'm happy that he's getting on the WrestleMania card. I love Seth Rollins. He might be the best pure performer wrestling has. I'm also gonna take Seth Rollins.
Let's go.
That could set up something big.
It could.
For Seth Rollins, maybe after WrestleMania.
Yep.
All right, we got a 6-woman tag match. We have it is Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control.
Ooh. I don't know. I just think kind of Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus kind of clears. I'm not gonna lie.
I think so too.
They clear. You have Hall of Famers on that team.
Yeah. You got it. By the way, Lita was actually Becky Lynch's idol growing up, so that's actually why they're working together, because it was Becky's dream to work with Lita, and now she is. I believe they're still the women's tag team champions. And Trish Stratus back, who looks fantastic, by the way. So I'm gonna take those 3.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close either.
Dominic versus Ray. Ray finally caved in. He will fight his son.
Ray.
I'm gonna take Ray. It'll be interesting to see if they have the Dominic win.
Or trust my process.
Yeah.
Dom wins. And Ray gives him his mask. Because there's a whole thing to where he said he's not going to give his son his mask. He has to earn it. I think I think Rey Mysterio wins. I think they set it up to where he should win. Kind of put his son in his place. But if Dom does win, I think Rey Mysterio gives him his mask.
That would be crazy. For weeks, Dom has been going to Rey Mysterio, trying to get him to fight him. Ray would not lay a hand on his son. He kept he pushed him over right next to his wife and daughter, and then Ray finally hit back. He smacked Dominic on March 24th, and he accepted his challenge. So that's gonna be a great match. And then we have a 4-way tag team match: Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
So Braun Strowman, Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders and Alpha Academy. Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. I think this eventually just comes down to Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Street Profits win, and by Street Profits, I mean Montez Ford.
Yeah.
I don't even think Angelo Dawkins should be allowed in the ring. I think Angelo Dawkins is gonna start, and then Mont's gonna be like, tag me. All right. And then all of a sudden, and then Angelo's gonna be there with his hand down. Mont's gonna be like, no, I got this. I think he should. I don't think Angelo Dawkins should be allowed in the ring.
Yeah, I'll take Braun Strowman and Ricochet.
I would like that as well.
That's like the least intriguing match of the night.
Yeah, it's not that exciting,
All right, night 2.
Night 2's very exciting.
Raw Women's Championship: Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
Bianca versus Asuka. I'm actually taking Asuka on this one.
Yeah, I love Bianca. She's had an incredible run, but it's time for Asuka to be the Empress of Tomorrow.
Yep, ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
I think Aaron Rodgers loves her. It sounds like ayahuasca. You saw that one coming. You saw it coming.
I should have. Yeah. Ayahuasca. That one was pretty good. All right, so moving on. Intercontinental Championship. Gunther in a triple threat match against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
Gunther's run is over. It's Sheamus time, baby. I love my boy Sheamus. Give it to him. Give it to him. That bro kick is something that Gunther can't handle.
Okay, look. I love Gunther. He has been dominant. There is one scenario where I see him losing. They may want to have a world title run. Maybe you have him drop that title, which could set up a run at the world title.
The other thing I think would work is that the reason why I think Gunther would lose is to maybe set up a Drew McIntyre and Sheamus rivalry, because they usually go work together in tag teams.
Like
they even work together in the Royal Rumble to try to get as much people out. They kind of teamed there.
Yeah. Like first of all, in real life, they're very close friends in real life, and they were a team for a bit. Then they turned on each other, and they were bitter rivals. Then they reunited, and now they're kind of rivals again. But yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting match. See what they have planned for that. This is a good one. Edge versus Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match.
I am taking the Rated R Superstar. Edge.
Yeah,
I feel like also with a bit of the fall of the bloodline, I feel like outside of Rhea Ripley, we might also see a fall of Judgment Day. I mean, Edge absolutely hates Judgment Day. It's almost like Boston Scott with the Giants. I mean, I've never seen a man, because let's face it, I mean, Dom Mysterio is going against Rey Mysterio. That's Judgment Day as well.
Yeah.
Finn Balor is going against Edge, who's created Judgment Day. So I think that's going to be a great match, but I think Edge is going to win.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the fall of them, but I don't think they win that. I could see them losing both matches. I'll take Edge. That should be a great match. Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Brock Lesnar was a bitch last time Omos was there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brock Lesnar's just a better wrestler by far. But he could not stand looking at the great and powerful Omos. I am actually taking the upset, and I'm taking Omos.
Taking Omos.
Taking the upset.
Wow.
Look at what happened the last time. So Bobby Lashley fought against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, Mr. Big Ego. Get your ass in here. I'll do it. All right, sign this contract. Or else I'll kick your ass. Didn't do it. Was lost. He would have lost if he didn't punch Bobby Lashley in the nuts. He would have lost via submission. And that's a fact. Brock Lesnar, if he didn't kick Bobby Lashley in the dick, he would have lost by submission. No matter what happened, he was going to lose that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Omos comes up, who shouldn't even be a threat to Brock Lesnar. And, and it's like, and then just walks off. They get super scared, come on. Omos is in his head. It's a psychological warfare thing. It is David versus Goliath. If Goliath was shorter than David, though.
I don't know why this is a match. I have no clue why it's a match. I wish there was an Omos NXT. I'm taking Brock Lesnar. I cannot take Omos seriously. I'm taking Brock Lesnar.
It probably will end up being Brock, but I'm taking the upset.
I'm taking Brock. All right, so we have this little showcase. We have it's a four-way women's tag team match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
I don't even know. Kind of sounds like it kind of sounds a little ass to me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's one of the least intriguing matches on this card.
I might skip it. I genuinely might skip it.
Yeah.
I'd be bored. I guess. I don't know. I guess I'll take Ronda Rousey or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll take them. Look,
I'll take Ronda.
I don't like Ronda Rousey as a wrestler, but her and Baszler have made a good team.
She is a Hall of Fame UFC fighter.
Oh, absolutely. I do like those two as a team.
Yep.
That's been I do get it's been a success. All right. Now, for the grand finale, the WrestleMania main event.
And knowing WrestleMania, I'll put this one at the beginning on Sunday.
Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the for the WWE Universal Undisputed Heavyweight Championship.
This is a match. This is a great match. This match, I'm not even kidding. This match might go down as an all-time classic.
It might. I am so excited for this match.
I have my own opinion, and once again, I'm going to whip out the 3 words: trust my process.
Okay.
So I feel like, once again, you kind of look at the story here of what's been going on for people who followed. And it's not that difficult of a story to pick up on, but Kevin Owens goes against Roman Reigns. He's had enough with Roman Reigns, tries to fight him in Royal Rumble, loses. And Cody Rhodes ends up winning Royal Rumble, so he gets to fight Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn goes in for the Elimination Chamber, says, I want to fight you, Roman. It wouldn't make any sense for Sami Zayn to beat Roman Reigns because it would end up setting up Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns. So because of this, and just because like the general story and just like this general like struggle and adversity like fight that Cody Rhodes has to go through, the torn pectoral muscle. Yeah. Paul Heyman heckling him about, his dad and saying, Roman Reigns the son he always wanted. Mm-hmm. I think this sets up Cody Rhodes to win it all.
Yeah.
But trust my process. Just like the usual times when people have tried to fight Roman Reigns, and when Roman Reigns is kind of in the back foot, usually the Usos step in to try to stop it.
Right.
I guarantee you that happens, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come in and stop them.
That would be something else. That might actually happen. I think that might actually happen.
I guarantee you that happens. I think this match will go down as an all-time classic. I thought last year was going to be, that was going to be an all-time classic, Brock versus Roman, but that game was just okay. It was like 6 minutes. The entire fight. It was a quick fight.
Wait, which one?
Brock versus Roman.
That was the last Vince WrestleMania. It was not very good.
It was not that good. I think this, if I'm expecting a main event fight, which this is, this like the pinnacle event.
Yeah.
I'm expecting, it's not wrong for me to expect a 15-minute fight.
Well, yeah, at least
15, 20 minutes. A lot of these have lasted. Cena versus Rock has been 20 minutes. I think it's going to be a great match. I'm taking Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm taking Cody as well. But by the way, the build-up to this match has been incredible. This is one of the best build-ups WWE's ever done.
Yeah, and also Cody Rhodes, I think, has just had enough. I think he's going to end up winning.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to be fucking pissed on Monday. Because what's going to happen is, I'm calling it right now. Fucking Cody Rhodes is going to become the undisputed Universal Champion of undisputed Universal Champion. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to become great friends with Cody Rhodes and stuff like that. It's this whole big, the bloodline is no longer like, the leaders of the WWE, and it's mainly because Cody Rhodes bought down the tribal chief. And he's gonna walk in on Monday on Monday Night Raw, and he's gonna be like, so what do you guys want to talk about? Well, what the fuck do you think I want to talk about, Cody? What do you think I want to talk about. This is the only guy to where there could be like a burning building. You save like 15 kids, and then you could save like 15 kids, be a national hero, and then that Monday go on to Raw and be like, so what do you guys want to talk about? Well, Cody, I don't want to talk about anything. You know, like, what do you think I want to talk about, Cody? Stop going up there and ask me, what do you guys want to talk about? Just talk about it.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I'm taking Cody. That's all we have for you today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.
Cody.